Good morning. A cheerful good morning to you all. Hello, Miss Deb, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Good. And we were just discussing how we used to enjoy our kids having fun with A. Milne and Winnie the Pooh. What a great piece of literature.
Yeah, there was a lot of lessons learned, and they didn't realize they were learning them. They just thought they were watching a cartoon. So that's even better.
Oh, that's right. You're part of the age where it was already a cartoon.
That's right. Yeah,
It was just a book.
yeah, yeah. But his birthday is actually in January, so it's always a good month to do something because January is always a little bit of dullness, with the weather and winter. So it's a good time to actually recognize his accomplishments with Winnie.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So let's start with this one. Tell us about Piglet.
Well, Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. And part of that was he was always worrying about his size and that he just didn't fit in with the others. But what he did recognize that it doesn't matter as long as we show a lot of gratitude, we will still get by and have positive experiences.
Right on. Everybody, take your frankincense and myrrh.
Yay!
Just rub some frankincense and myrrh all over. Put it on the bones behind your ears because when you're going to experience your self talk today, we want you seriously tuned into hearing only love and speaking only love. And anything short of that, you're just going to go la 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 with your hands over your ears. What do you think?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And have you enjoyed frankincense and myrrh previously, Miss Deb?
Oh, I love it. Well, you hooked me onto frankincense first. Myrrh, I enjoyed it, but its properties wasn't always conducive to me getting them out of the bottle in a fast way. But no,
Right.
I love it. I actually diffuse it now. It just makes me feel just better. I just feel that it's like it aligns all my body parts together, and I just work so much better when I use it. I actually have it diffusing right now in the room where I am. And no, it's an amazing combination of oils.
Yes, this is excellent for your brain. And
Hmm.
people always write to me and say, oh, I can't get my myrrh bottle open. Okay, seriously, use it often, and that's not a problem. If it is a
Right.
problem, you run it under warm water and it will soften up. As soon as you get the cap off, then you take lemon oil and you put it
Hmm.
on a tissue and you run it right around where the circles go, where the cap screws on. You clear away the resin because myrrh comes from a resin, and
Hmm.
given air, it will return to a resin. So, lemon oil will keep the cap, from sticking again.
That's right.
Remember, use your lemon. We put the frankincense and myrrh combination right along the gum line of people who are having sore gums. And because of its very high delivery of oxygen to the brain and to cells throughout your body, it is seriously anti-carcinogenic.
Yep.
Now, as soon as you wake up in the morning, we've talked about this with intentions. One small positive thought can change your whole day. Deb, I know we were talking about this yesterday, and I was telling you the whole long list I do before I ever step foot out of bed and grab my 16 ounces of water.
I know it's amazing. You really
Because,
do.
right, I know what's ahead for the day. That's on the book, of course, but you never know, that book can change.
Hmm.
But when you seriously inside yourself, thank you for a smooth flow of the day, and thank you for Mother Nature. Those are two big ones for me. I take DDR Prime. I take Tri-Ease. Those oils are wonderful for my body. And every time I do, I thank Rob Young and Dr. Hill for putting those together. They don't know that, but I
Right.
send them positive thoughts that they should be encouraged in their areas that excite them, of giving us more good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have good thoughts in the morning, Miss Deb?
Yeah, I'm always very grateful as soon as I wake up in the morning. I give thanks for the opportunity to start a brand new day. For myself, I don't have the whole litany that you do, but I call myself to attention over and ask for positive influences over all the things that I'm going to do. I give thanks for perfect health and for all my cells working together so I can accomplish what I want throughout the day. And then, of course, anything specific that I have on that schedule, I include those in my morning thoughts as well.
Right. And sometimes we get startled in the middle of the night. The phone will ring. And in my case, it's usually somebody calling from the wrong time zone. But a lot of times on the way to the phone, all I say over and over again is thank you, God, for the safety of everyone involved. Whatever it's
Yes.
going to be on the other end of the phone, I'm already appreciating the flow of whatever's taking place, that everyone should be safe, whatever this call is about.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do has the power to change the world. We never know who will be touched by our words or inspired by our actions. And Deb is a wonderful tutor and tester of young minds to help parents and the education system be able to provide for children who have trouble with what we call regular classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so Deb is very good at helping people by the way she phrases things.
Right. It's really important that one of your positive thoughts is going to be that that people will hear you as you want to be heard. And I help that along by being able to rephrase my directions if someone's not understanding me. I'm able to use different intonations in my speech to help bring about a different outcome. And I want to declare that anything that comes out of my mouth can be heard in a positive way, because sometimes people misinterpret what you said and can become offended or insulted in some way. So I want to make sure that everything I'm saying will be heard positively as a means to help them overcome what's going on. And, I deal with little children right now, and my morning routine is I put a little bit of oil under their desks in the morning, and I'm always making those positive statements as I'm doing that.
Right. And it's really important that when we do work, because people show up and say, I want this class. People will come to your house when you're holding a basic oil class. The fact that they show up, they're giving you a big message. So
Right.
it's really important that you express gratitude before you start your class, that whatever information will complement these people's concerns, you're able to express it in a way that they can hear it. Because if
Right.
you're paying full attention, you're keeping yourself totally in the moment, and you're allowing your excitement to come through in very brief, some of you, not long stories, brief stories, okay? And people will get it. But qualifying ahead of time, saying ahead of time, I really want this to happen for these people, and thanking everything about you for participating has an amazing effect.
Right. We've talked about this before, but instead of saying things like I'm damaged, I'm broken, I have trust issues. Okay, we've all gone through that at certain times. You want to turn those words around and say, I'm healing, I'm rediscovering myself, I'm starting over. Positive self-talk. You don't want to talk about old wounds. You don't want to dwell on the past. It's just not healthy for you. And what you do when you do that is you're just recreating the same pattern over and over and over again. And you're not going to affect change if you stay stuck in that pattern. I always think about, and I know I've done it before, but, I grew up watching the Jetsons, was so thrilled with outer space, but one of my favorite characters was Rosie the robot, the maid. And whenever she was feeling down, she'd bend over and she'd be going, and you know what?
Yes.
But we all know people like that. You know, we all know people that live like that day to day, that even despite something good happening, they just get stuck in that woe is me mode, and they don't appreciate the little things from day to day. So, and they're just so overcome with that poor me, you know, that they're just not appreciating even the little good things that are coming into their life.
I want you to think in terms of you're a finely tuned instrument. You're a perfectly tuned piano. When you say things like, I'm damaged, I'm broken, you lose all of the notes of C. C sharp is impossible. So you can't proceed with new pieces of music because all of C's won't play.
Uh-oh.
When you say, I'm rediscovering myself, I'm starting over, you're allowing the instrument to be perfectly fine-tuned again. Patchouli, bergamot, and myrrh are excellent for helping us move into happier states of being so we don't have to replay our damaged and broken parts.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, that's your hat. I love it.
I know. This just gives me, I just get an awe moment when I see this picture for some reason. That little girl with her hat, trailing her stick along the fence. It just makes me go, ah. And we want to remember that gratitude is not just a word, it's a way of life. When we make clear statements about expressing gratitude, we're thanking for the blessings that we've had and those that are on their way. We're just setting up ourselves to receive so much more. Okay, it's just more things are going to come our way when we take the time to give thanks.
Right, and it's really important to give thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. Positivity, Lee, is really important. Create an atmosphere of positivity. We're going to go right to why do we struggle expressing gratitude? Sometimes we allow negative and toxic people to rent space in our head. Really important that you raise the rent and kick them out.
Love it.
You can always add your friend Frank as a bolster. Frank is big and burly. He will help you be comfortable walking away from the habits of negative and toxic people. You can't save them. If they haven't changed anything, they're just taking up unpleasant space. You've got to get them to move on, please. You don't have to wait for them to heal. You got to get them to move on. Okay, here's your assignment. Need you to do this right now.
Okay.
Make a list of what is missing from your life. What did you just say yesterday? Oh, I'd be happier when. I'll be happier if. It's too bad I don't have this right now.
Right.
What is frustrating you? Are you making your list?
I'm writing. Yes, I am.
Okay. What are your pet peeves? One of mine is I can't get enough napkins in the restaurant for my leaky chin.
Or coffee refills in a timely manner, right?
That's it. Make a list of what is admirable in friends you want.
You know, when you're doing what's admirable, you're going to realize the traits that you don't want in your friends. So that's really a key thing to be making in your list right now.
Make a list of what is enough money. Because people talk about wanting abundance.
Right.
But they don't know how much enough is. They haven't figured that out. So how are you going to know you've achieved your goal unless you know how much it is?
It's true.
Then you need to make a list of what is your ideal health. Now, I know you wrote all that down, and you're going to add to that later. Now, how did you decide these things? How did you notice there were things missing from your life? Well, many times we find out backwards. Sometimes we get a flat tire. So we want a car with tires that won't go flat. Sometimes you have contrasting things happen in your life and you notice, I don't have this. I would be happier if. I would be happier when. Gosh, she's so lucky. She's got friends that know how to do this and know how to do that.
Mhm.
Poor me. All right, on the next page, we're going to tie this together, trust me. What are the 3 things in your life you are really proud of? Are you proud of your garden? Are you proud of the business that you're creating? Are you proud of the fundraiser that you participated in last year and now you realize you haven't been excited about anything for quite a while? You need a project.
Mhm.
What are the 3 things in your life that you're really proud of? And if
And
you
these
can't
don't,
find 3 things, write to me.
and they don't have to be big, large things.
Heck
They can be
no.
small accomplishments. It doesn't have to be this big thing. You know, things that we're proud of can be touching one person in a very special way. Helping, for me, one of my proud things is when I'm helping a child learn to do something that they've been struggling with. So it's not like I'm going to have trumpets blaring and blowing that I've done this, but for me, it's one of my proudest moments.
Yes, I'm proud of myself when I can cook a meal. You're laughing, but I haven't cooked in a long time. So when you don't cook and you go into the kitchen, it feels very foreign.
Hmm.
So you have to take it for what it's worth. Okay, now you got your list. And this is a concept that's really important for you to get.
Hmm.
You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. It's like discordant vibrations. So, in order to find your truths, you must also practice being thankful for what you do have. So, if you're going through a patch in time where your perception is everything you try, nobody appreciates, nobody says thank you, nobody is noticing what an excellent job you're doing, no one's saying how much they like your handouts, they're just finding the editorial issues. You're having one of those difficult times. So, on your list, perhaps you put down one of the things that was missing was nobody seems to appreciate me. Nobody loves me. Anyway, the way to change that is twofold. First, you have to recognize the things in your life that you do like, and you have to state it over and over. And you have to express appreciation and gratitude for people with virtues all around you. And the funny part is when you shift your gears to look for things to appreciate, things to be grateful for, you get more good things to appreciate.
Right. We talked about this yesterday. If you want to feel rich, just count all the things that you have that money cannot buy. And, you know, this is America's way of thinking. Everybody thinks if they win the lottery, everything's going to be perfect. Well, things might be easier, but they're not perfect. So you want to think about other things that money can't buy that are in your life. Love, friends, um, for all the good, for good things, for good health, for having confidence to go out and try new things, feeling good about yourself, having a feeling of good self-worth, pride in what you do. Okay.
Good health, the fact that you can appreciate music because you have a wonderful sense of hearing, the fact that spring is here in many parts of the country and things are blooming.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's an orchid exhibit inside Manhattan at the Botanical Gardens that everyone in the world should be here to see. It goes on for rooms and rooms. It's amazing. But those are the kinds of things to focus on because then more beauty around you shows up.
Right. And so some of the things we want to give thanks for: smiles, hugs, Mornings, rainbows. Oh my gosh, don't you just feel wonderful when you get to see a
Oh,
rainbow?
yes, I love it.
The one day I was driving and I actually saw a double rainbow. I was so elated. Sunsets, families, friends, giggles, of course, and starry skies. They're all wonderful.
And some people wrote in to say that they're having wonderful, clean, and bright snow. That's Mother Nature still in their neighborhoods.
Really? Wow.
How pretty it looks on the trees.
That's great.
When you are grateful, when you stand in true gratitude, I got to the church on time. I'm grateful we're all safe and we arrived. Fear disappears, and abundance is available if you allow it. Think about it. Think about the last time you expressed gratitude. I mean, we always have this exercise we do with the young kids. Tell me what 3 new things you were grateful for from school today. What happened that made you happy? What did you notice about your friends? What's new? We help them focus on new and what did they learn? Well, I think every moment of your life is infinitely creative and the universe is endlessly bountiful. Just put forth a clear enough request, and everything your heart desires must come to you. So, if you clearly state it consistently and you really, really want it, the intersection of belief, believing you deserve it, and desire, I really, really want the red one, that intersection is where full manifestation of anything you ask for is going to happen. It's an intersection, it's a street corner. You always know when you arrive. And you start saying things like, wow, I just love the way the universe comes together. I just love the way the universe provides that next step I need, that next color I need for my rainbow.
Right, and
I know you're good at this, clearly stating exactly what you want to have happen, and say it over and over again.
right. We talked yesterday too about. I'm sorry, I'm getting an echo for some reason. We talked about just the way we word things, rather than saying that I want to be rich or have a lot of money. You might want to phrase it as trying to be financially solvent. So it's just sometimes the phrasing makes it a little bit more clear.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Some people walk around and say, I want to be debt free. I want to be debt free. Well, it's my experience with the universe that if we use the word that we want to be free of, the universe isn't going to help you change anything. Where if you walk around saying, abundance of all resources is arriving, I'm recognizing it, I'm accepting it, and I have the wisdom to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
It works so much better because while we're on about accepting good things in our life, that vibration allows us to be debt free because you recognize what you need to do to come across all this wonderful stuff.
Right. It's also like when we say like I'm going to go on a diet or follow a diet. Everybody knows that diet is a bad 4-letter word. So if you changed it around and said I'm open to opportunities to eating healthy, to eating in a very healthy way. Again, that's just stating a clear intention in a much more positive way.
Yes, and the 18 times in a row is really good because if you struggle to work out, okay, abundance is flowing my way consistently and often, and you only say it 5 times, and then you start saying things like, oh my God, I'm only going to get bills in the mail. What message are you giving to the universe?
Right.
You have to express it
in the mail, that's for sure.
Feel it. You have to feel successful. You have to feel like you already got it, and expressing gratitude for having it and allowing the universe to pick the route is so exciting. It is so good for you. Ooh, I like this one too. Someone
This
was a
is a new one. You
surprise.
surprised me.
Yes, look what they had us put in here.
You can rewire your brain to be happy by simply recalling 3 things you're grateful for every day for 21 days. So that's going back to sort of what we do with the kids, sharing at the dinner table what 3 great things happened during their day. You're going to do this for yourself. And we're going to be able to switch the wiring in our brain to change our way of thinking. Excellent.
Right, because so many people in our age group, and even some of you youngsters, you had relatives that taught you to expect negative things to happen.
Oh
Like
my
if you're
gosh.
going to build a new house, oh my God, the termites are going to get in the wood. You got to look out for this. You got to look out for that. Oh my God, oh my God. So you're kind of pre programmed to have worries, anticipating challenges. Even with
Mhm.
Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, always being prepared. What are we being prepared for? Disaster and recovery.
Oh,
So it's
flood,
good to
famine.
have working knowledge. It's good to have working knowledge of how to be self sufficient if surprises occur, but not dwell on them. So we
Right.
need to rewire our brain. We need to look at things a little differently. And if you do this, 3 things every day consistently for 21 days, you will find that gratitude and good things just continue to flow. And this is not a new principle. This has been around since several hundred years before Christ. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. This is from our buddy Marcus, back in the times of the early Caesars.
Yeah, and you explained to me how this was has been around for such a long time, and if gratitude, being grateful and expressing gratitude worked back then, well, it's certainly going to work now. It's going to help us, with all our other virtues, saying things over and over again that we are grateful for are just going to help us. It's going to change our attitude. You taught me a while ago, you'd given me a really nice book, and I had that as my gratitude journal. And every night before I go to bed, I jot down what I was grateful for, the things that occurred in the day, things that I wanted to happen, and even those that were a surprise. So it does keep you on the right track.
It certainly does. And here's a wonderful diffuser blend I stole off of Facebook. Bergamot, wild orange, geranium, white fir. Does that sound the least bit familiar to any of you out there? Yes.
It does. It's wonderful.
Yes, this is one of mine from a long time ago, but everybody stumbles onto the same wonderful things at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Bergamot, wild orange, geranium, white fir that will warm your heart. It will ease up the stress in your brain because our brain often is the firing mechanism to shoot holes in appreciation. Our brain is the collector of like little bad experiences we have. Like I got a blowout on the parkway a couple of months ago. I was so grateful. A, there was literally no one in the 3 lanes I had to cross to get over to the shoulder. B, I didn't hit anyone or inconvenience any other human being.
Mm-hmm.
And C, it was broad daylight.
Mm-hmm.
That same bubble could have burst at a really inconvenient time because, as you know, I've been known to drive out into the areas other people won't go to hold classes. And sometimes there are rickety roads and things happen. So
Mm-hmm.
even though it was a blowout and I was unable to get to my destination, everything worked out great.
Exactly. Yep.
And let's touch a little bit on relationships. People always get nervous when I start talking about relationships, but let's talk about this for a second. When one door of happiness closes, another one always opens. But often we're so busy looking so long at the closed door, we do not see the one which has been opened for us. We're either trying to be right about something that was wrong, or we're trying to justify long term investment in a bad situation. Stop it. Let it go. Knock it off. It doesn't matter. Recognize. Run to the new open door. Be excited about how you're going to be surprised. Be excited about your new talent you're going to discover. Yes, you're going to grieve about the change. And it's okay to grieve about good change from a bad situation. The grieving process doesn't care if it was a good thing or a bad thing. There was a big change. So you may resist. Do not resist.
No, and this just isn't just for personal relationships. It's jobs and things that maybe you got reorganized out of a job, or you had to make a move. Your family relocated, so it's other things. But we just have to be open to seeing what lies ahead of us as a new adventure. Really.
Yes. And you know yourself. What do you value the most? Your time. Everybody
Exactly.
always says, I'm time poor, or that person's
Mhm.
a time bandit, or what are the other words? What is the thing?
Thief?
Pirate. Time pirate.
Yes.
Energy pirate.
Yes. Yep. When you give time to someone, you're giving a portion of your life that you're never going to get back. So you want to make the time that you give to someone to be in your best interest. And when others give you time, it's important that you take the time to show your appreciation of it. You can't get what you don't give to others. So, what you give will come back to you. And you just want that to just be a nice, happy experience. And be sure to show your appreciation of whatever's being done for you. Like Sue, you told me, who do you appreciate every morning when you get up? Right,
My
John, for
husband
making
John.
coffee,
My
right?
husband John, because he makes the most amazing coffee every
Right,
single day. You know,
right,
and I say thank you for the wonderful coffee, and I'm very grateful. I'm sure there's times he gets tired of doing that, but I love it. We all love the fact, and I thank him all the time. And
right.
he used to think that was very funny. Now he's taught everyone in Penguin Random House how to say thank you for almost everything. He said it's so nice after all these years to hear people openly appreciate each other. It's catchy. Let it be catchy. Saying
Yeah,
thank you.
for those of you that are parents and have children, this is something that you want to instill in them from a very early age. I work so hard at instilling this within my classroom. Asking a friend for a crayon, but making certain that you're saying thank you for letting me borrow it. And it just changes the whole energy level within the room when the kids start expressing gratitude. I actually had a child like, oh, Miss Weyland, thank you so much for reading that story. It was one of my favorites. Wow, it took 3 seconds to say it, and just everybody feels so much happier with that.
Yep. Okay. Be free. When you try to control everything, you enjoy nothing. Sometimes you just need to relax, breathe, let go, and just live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
When we share oil blending with people or the aroma touch technique with people, we start the classes always with the intention of, let's all just be right here, right now. Don't worry about your dentist appointment tomorrow. Don't worry about the fight with your lover yesterday. Stay right here, right now, so you can thoroughly enjoy the experience. It's so important that if you stay perfectly present, one of the favorite things I love to say now in large groups is, well, I don't know. You'll have to ask who's ever in charge. I love it when other people are in charge and I don't sit back and play Monday morning quarterback or halftime quarterback. If people come and ask for help, I'm happy to help, but I am content just to be part of the group. I'm content to sit quietly and learn what's being offered. I don't have to run anything anymore. It's great to be in that attitude. How about you, Deb?
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. And when we talk about control, I think of those people that schedule every minute of every day. Okay, now like I have a general idea of what's happening at each time, but I had a friend of mine that like at 8:15, I'm gonna have my cup of coffee. At 8:20, I'm making a phone call too. At 8:30, I need to do this. When you live your life that way, moment by moment by moment, you're missing out on all the other little things that happen around you because you're so focused on that time schedule. So it's so much better to give up some. I mean, everybody needs a certain schedule and everybody needs a certain idea of what's going to go on that day, but when we're so intent on that time frame, you miss out on so many of the small things. And just, I mean, when I get in my car at the end of the day, I just take a deep breath. I enjoy the peace and quiet of of having a successful day. You just need to take that time and enjoy the here and now instead of having such a control issue.
Right, because when you're trying to manage everybody else's everything and you're trying to anticipate what could possibly happen or what are they going to say back or how is this going
Hmm.
to work, you're, like Deb said, you're not participating in the moment of everything else going on.
Yeah.
Plus, the fact that you're trying to control other human beings, you are going to be frustrated. You are going to feel at a loss. You are going to start criticizing yourself. And you've got to be very good to yourself and let others learn. Really important to give others the opportunity to learn without feedback they didn't ask for.
Hmm.
If I want your advice, trust me, I will ask for it. If I didn't ask for it, please don't volunteer. Do you understand that when you decide to step up and start making suggestions to people, the first thing they think of is, oh, isn't this nice? They don't know where we're going, but they're already criticizing.
Right.
So wait until somebody asks, what are we doing here? Okay?
Hmm.
Let us be grateful to people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. And again, so grateful for blooming snow, blooming wind, blooming trees. Okay. Debbie, we were talking about one of your friends
I
yesterday.
know. I know. Stay away from still people. What does that mean? Someone that's stuck, someone that's in the murky mire of mud and is not moving anywhere. They complain about that they're still broke. They're complaining every day about something. They're hating this, hating that, making excuses for why their life is so miserable, losing this, living in the past. Oh my gosh, just the same stories, the same experiences over and over and over, nothing new, not making any changes. And the biggest one's making excuses for their own unhappiness. And it takes a while to recognize that in someone because you want to be the supportive friend. But you know what? After a while, you just have to say, I'm done. I can't do this. And you're going to put on your body armor and just move forward because they're drawing you into their negativity. They're drawing you into becoming like them and picking up some of those really bad habits. And you know what? You don't want it. You just really need to distance yourself from that and try to move on. And it was a really important lesson in my life. And you know what? I'm much happier now. I draw people to me that I have fun with, that I can be happy with, and that I can share some amazing experiences with.
Yeah, it really is a choice. If we want to stay in the habit of negative gossip and let's talk about who wasn't at church, let's talk about, who didn't do something right. If you want to spend time there because somehow it makes you feel good, you have to figure out what aren't you doing? What aren't you dealing with personally? Why are you picking on this other person? You don't even know their story. You don't know what grief they already have. And you feel that it's okay to criticize them. You've got to really think in terms of What aren't you dealing with that's important for you? Get out your goals, redo your vision board. Oh, overthinking, the art of creating problems that weren't even there. Does anybody on this call understand? Oh, yeah, see, all the hands are going up. Yes. See, you could make it. We know some people who are very bright, don't we, Deb?
Oh, absolutely.
And they use their brightness to conjure up situations that don't exist.
True.
Stop it.
It's true. You have.
Thank
You
God
have.
for your brain. Thank God for your brain. But
Yeah.
get on with your heart. Feel about things. Don't think about things.
Mhm.
Okay. Whatever you're thinking about is literally like planning a future event. When you're worrying, you are planning. You are appreciating. You are planning what? What are you planning? When you are
Right.
appreciating, you're planning for happy. When you are worrying, you're planning for less than happy.
Right. Because even if you're worrying about something and everything happened perfectly, you're not even going to recognize that because you're
That's right.
so stuck in that worrying about that everything will go well.
Right. Remember that list that we talked about earlier?
Mhm.
When you made that list, I asked you, what is enough money? The reason is you have to have a specific goal. Otherwise, you get lost in the process and you'll get cranky in trying to achieve a non-specific goal. And you won't even know why you're unhappy. I love this. I love this. I love this.
Me too. Me too. Sometimes you just need a new perspective on things. And for the
Yes.
cat, it's simply turning upside down and looking at it from a different angle. But it's so true for us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so close to situations that we need to take a step back and look at it in a different manner. And we're going to see that things worked out so much better than we even anticipated if we can just step away from it and look at it objectively.
Right. Give yourself the opportunity to be grateful for a traffic delay. When I
Oh
get
my
delayed
gosh.
in a car, the first thing I say is, well, they're keeping me out of trouble somewhere else.
Absolutely. And that's so true. Oh my gosh. Haven't you ever sat there and you're worrying about being late and you heard that there was this major, 5-car pileup ahead of you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful I wasn't there.
Yep. And blessings on the poor people that were.
Absolutely.
Okay. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Some people are raised in what's called a dysfunctional atmosphere or a dysfunctional home where unreasonable expectations are communicated in various ways. And
Right.
many times you were punished for not knowing something that you had no way of knowing. That's part of dysfunctional thinking. Hold
Mm-hmm.
somebody else accountable for your unhappiness.
Right.
Many children were raised trying to learn how to please others all of the time because they didn't know they didn't have to. So, right now, I'm giving you permission to let go of pleasing any other human being except you. You have
Mm-hmm.
permission. That's as close to a golden telegram as you're going to get. So, stop it. Live your life to please your inner self. Mostly, I'm asking you to forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you had a chance to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of when I ask you to please be gentle on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea.
Right.
Because when you're lost in critical thinking, you're not expressing gratitude.
No, and I think part of it is we have to forgive ourselves. We make mistakes, but we learn from them and we move on from them, and it's okay. We're so caught up in not doing something wrong, especially if you grew up in that environment of having to do everything right, that we kind of beat ourselves up if we do make a mistake. But those are all learning experiences, and they're part of what we need to do to grow and move on. So
Remember, this is just a class. This is not the final exam.
Right. I like that.
And we're in the back of the room being bad, and it's okay.
It's good. Sure.
Okay.
Oh, at times our own light goes out and it's rekindled by a spark from another person. And it's just so true. People come into our lives and man, they can refuel us and get us energized to do other things. So each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. And let's not forget all those people that we do draw to us, that do inspire just new energy, a new willingness to try new things, appreciation of so much around us. And let's give them the gratitude that they need for helping us.
Yes. And please don't vote for Trump. Oh, I'm sorry, that snuck out. Never mind. Today I woke up grateful, with eyes that see the beauty, ears that hear the sounds, and a voice to speak my words.
I think you just spoke your words. Yes.
It snuck out. I'm sorry. The words are about the sounds. We have wonderful, wonderful birds that love 4 a.m. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so I thank God for the wonderful birds, and I wish them to be in another neighborhood at 4 a.m.
Oh, is that why they're outside my tree now? Is that it?
Yes.
You sent them my way.
No. I actually sent them out to the lake. I thought they would enjoy the lake.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But seriously, that's all you got to say when you wake up in the morning. One simple thought. Thank you. I survived another night. I'm here to play with people again today. This is such fun. And then you make it fun. Now, Thursdays, I have a little harder time because on Thursday, we get to work with Brunhilde. And she is our physical strengthening coach. And you know how I love exercise. And all the way there, I'm saying, I love exercise. My muscles are stronger. My body is thriving. This is such a treat for my body. And I'm getting closer.
You're doing great. Don't worry. Remember to end your day with a prayer, if that's what you believe in, a smile, and more importantly, a thankful heart. Be thankful for all that you experienced throughout the day, for all the goodness that came your way, for a person that you met for the first time when you were shopping in the supermarket. Just take those few seconds at the end to say thanks.
Yes. And thanks for the nice warm house and the nice comfortable bed.
Amen to that.
And we just said that. If the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that will be enough. If you keep yourself in a thank you state of mind, everything works out very well for you.
It's very, very true.
So, a word to the thinkers. Please stop focusing on how stressed you are and remember how blessed you are. Take that list that you made earlier today from the earlier part of this and turn it all into appreciation and gratitude. Every single thing on that list you feel you're missing, it's time for you to take action. Don't think about it. Don't whine about it. Take action. Because then you will believe you want something to change. If you talk about wanting to change something, if you talk about how you want to improve something, but you take no action, you're not happy with you. You need to get happy with you. So make a promise, keep a promise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to thank you, Miss Deb, for joining us today.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
And I thank John for the coffee this morning, so we're good.
Well, I can appreciate that. He makes wonderful coffee, so. And I'm grateful that all of you had taken the time to join us today. Really appreciate it. I know some of you are up bright and early, but I'm hoping that your day is going to be much more fulfilling now that you're going to start off with a much better positive attitude. And I'm expecting to hear lots of thank yous all day.
That you will. Then one more thing, please remember to smile at everyone you see today. A simple acknowledgement of another person walking can make such an amazing difference. The number of people who tried suicide and were unsuccessful over and over, we hear, if just one person had been nice to me, I wouldn't have gone this far. If just one person had been kind to me. Have the
It's true.
courage.
Very, very true.
Good night, and we love you all.
Bye, everyone.